Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the final session of day one of the Thrive Summit, all about building a business as powerful as you are, because we know you are all powerhouse entrepreneurs in your own right. And one of the things that a lot of us have had on our to-do list for a really long time is making sure that we have the right legal structures in place to protect our businesses and ourselves. Because the truth is, we will not let our businesses grow if they are not already safe. So if you've been hitting a wall with your business, it is very possible that it is your subconscious trying to keep you safe because you don't have the right legal structures in place. So I'm thrilled that this year we have a legal expert coming to the Thrive Summit. The one and only Dian Trabulsy is here. She spent nearly a decade practicing corporate law on Wall Street before realizing too many small businesses were losing momentum and money over preventable legal missteps. So she founded Grace May LLC to change that, blending her big firm experience with a heart for entrepreneurs and a gift for making legal strategies simple and actionable. So today she helps business owners feel confident, protected, and free to grow. And she is here to guide us through with her own wisdom and answer questions that we may have. So, Dian, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Sounds great. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Olivia. What a joy to be here today at the Thrive Summit 2025. I saw there's a powerful lineup of the speakers that Olivia put together. So I'm very honored to be here to spend this time with you. So let me quickly share the deck. And if you can hear me all right, you can see the deck. Please give me a thumbs up or, just let me know. Awesome. This is great. I'm so glad everything's working. That's challenge number one normally. So we are achieved. So just a quick disclaimer, as always, this presentation is educational only. As you know that I love providing educational workshops, webinar for everyone. And this is something that we always do as a Grace Mate. However, if you stay to the end of this session, I have a special invitation for you so that you have the opportunity also to discuss some of the individual specific situations of you and of your business. And I'm happy to have that for you. So let's get started. Just quickly, I wanted to get a sense in the room. I love that we have an intimate room here. How many of you already have your business? How many of you, like, put in the chat, put in that one in the chat if you already started your business, put in a two if you are starting out. So I just wanted to, okay, perfect, wonderful. Okay, nice. That way I can make sure I tailor my presentation a little bit more. So what we are going to talk about here today is to build something that lasts, right? And how legal strategy isn't just about avoiding lawsuits, it's actually about aligning your structure with your values, with your faith, with what you think it mattered the most. So the business can grow without draining your energy. And um, I wanted to just quickly, tell you a little bit about how we have been serving, who we are serving, for the past few years. At Grace May, we serve value aligned, faith aligned business owners and entrepreneurs. So if you are a founders who want to lead with integrity and protect your vision, we love to help you. This is who we support, how we feel a privilege to support you and walk alongside with you. We oftentimes serve coaches, consultants, creatives who are trying to navigate the business side of their business, but also try to protect their calling. And this is where we come in to provide legal tools that match your heart for the impact that you deserve. And what we all have in common is that we're building something that matters, and we want peace of mind and that's protected. So our promise is a very simple, clear steps, plain language, and peace of mind. So another question, you've put in the chat one in the chat if you already have a business structure, and put in the chat too if you think you have something, but you're not sure how it looks like or should be look like. Awesome.
Can you what is a business structure? Or maybe that's what you're about to get to.
Yes, that's what I'm going to go back.
Okay.
So people think about legal structure like, I already have an LLC, right? I have a C Corp, S Corp. Whatever you think, oh, I'm good. I have that. But put in the two if you think, oh, I think I have something, but I'm not actually sure. So totally fine. Both answers, there's no wrong answer here. I just wanted to, make sure we're on the same page. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, that's fine. You have an LLC. Perfect, Olivia. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I just wanted to introduce a little bit about me. Thank you first for the nice introduction, Olivia. I am a Wall Street trained corporate attorney. I practice in New York City in the country's largest top 5 law firms, as well as quite a few public companies serving exactly as a business attorney for more than a decade before I started my own business, LLC. So during that time, we held business, raise capital, scaling, growing, surviving crisis. However, when I had this calling to start my own business, I wanted to be so different. I wanted to be a breath of fresh air in the legal industry, and I hope you will sense a little bit that after this presentation. So it's basically born out of a calling to serve faith-aligned founders who want legal strength without compromising their values or their faith. Um, I don't think we should choose between excellence and alignment. And I also believe your value and legal clarity can and should coexist. So this is why I'm so excited today to, tell you a little bit about our unique approach. It's called Faithful Legal Foundation approach. And this is our signature, approach. And we often talk about rock solid legal foundation. But a lot of times we don't exactly know what it looks like. So I wanted to really get into the details of, breaking down each element to help you understand, and maybe you can think through as I'm talking, like whether you are having a solid legal foundation for your own business. So to me and to us at Grace May, your business need to sit on the rock solid legal foundation so that your impact is not at risk. And it includes at least 6 pillars. And we're going to walk through each of them. And feel free to drop your questions as I talk. But the first one is called legal the right legal entity and registrations. So what it means is just as we just talked about a little bit, right? What type of legal entity is the best for you and your business? And the type of legal entity can be there are a lot of options depending on jurisdictions. You may have even longer lists. There, the bigger the picture, there's the LLC, we all know, S Corp, C Corp, right? Partnership, um, benefit organization, nonprofit, and so on. However, exactly what type of legal structure should be dictated by the business, the service, the offering, the visions that you have. For example, are you going to attract outside investors down the road? Are you going to hire someone, even if it's an independent, employee? And how is your offer being packaged and served? How is it going to be look like not just now, but in 3 years, 5 years later? All these questions, so we're going to have to go through a very strategic decisioning process in order to decide the right legal entity for you. And together with that, we will file with the state or we will amend the filing of the state. And if you have DBA, this is where also the registration come to place, right? If you want to do business as a different name under your own individual name, what's your branding? Do you want to also have that register? If your business is relating to a specific service or industry, is there any license or registration that will be required? So all this is contemplated in that very first initial process to decide what legal entity is the best for you. And sometimes, we have a filing, a registration, but also when we talk about number six, how we're going to renew that. What's the best strategy to continue to maintain that in good standing is also very important. So number two, this is where your foundational agreement is. A lot of people come to me, they know they have an LLC, but when I ask for an operating agreement, they don't know where that is, or they don't know what it does or what is actually in there. So that's a red flag, right? The foundational agreement, whether it is LLC, we call it operating agreement, or a bylaw if it's a C corp or S corp, or if it's a partnership agreement, no matter what it is called, it is foundational to support your legal entity as a legal structure. If you don't have a foundational agreement set up correctly and also maintain it, update it accordingly, the court or the public may see as if you are actually performing the business as an individual. So it's essentially a sole proprietor. In order for you to enjoy the benefits of such a legal entity, for example, the separation liability, the separation, the roles and responsibility between you and your co-founder, all sorts of benefits that comes with the legal entity need to be finalized, clarified, and actually documented in the foundation agreement for it to be enforceable. So, I often have this analogy. You can very think you own a house. However, the foundational agreement, it's like the deed to your house. Without the deed, it's hard to enforce the ownership and not alongside with other benefits of your legal entity. So that's number two. If you haven't have updated, review it, or if you actually are not sure what it says, this could be a red flag. But that's why, I oftentimes remind us and how we are going to look at all this as part of the legal foundation. And the third element is this: at a minimum, you should have a signature client agreement. Right? At the ideal level, we help our clients who come to our door to build what is called a custom agreement suite, which is all sorts of agreements that's tailored to their business that they will be needing to run their business. But at the minimum level, depending again on your service, on how you serve your client, you should have a signature client agreement to outline the scope of the service, what is the payment terms, and IP protection, cancellation policy if you have it, and how you're going to resolve any potential disputes, right? And how strongly and protective and nicely crafted this type of agreement directly, can decide how well your and how solid and robust your client relationship is. Recently, I see a lot of business have payment issues, right? They deliver the service, but they are not getting paid, or the payments being delayed. We oftentimes the first thing should be go back to the payment terms in your own agreement. How is it going to draft it? Is it strong enough? Is it actually compliant with your jurisdiction's regulations or laws and so forth? So signature client agreement should be tailored, to be custom, to be strong enough. And that's externally, right? Internally, and this is something that's often ignored, is what I call team documentations. So if we see, client agreement as a key external agreement, the team documents is your employee handbook. If you have a VA, you should at least have an independent contractor agreement in place, right? Any policies that you wanted to enforce as your business. Um, Together with the third category, this is the first step to protect your copyright, your branding, your confidentiality. And it is so important and so easy to put in place at the very beginning. Um, and then obviously, number five, we talk specifically about brand and IP protection, right? The agreements that we talk about in the earlier, it's it's a step one. A lot of times when we're starting out, or even the first few years, maybe we don't need to file a trademark. Trademark takes forever, has a lot of costs involved. And sometimes we're not quite sure exactly whether this is our slogan, right? This is our branding, this is our logo for the long time. So until that's finalized, I sometimes recommend my clients to put other guardrail in place to protect your branding and IP in the meantime. For example, website compliance. What's the terms and condition in a post on your website, right? You have a lot of great content on your website. And a lot of times we introduce our framework, our process, our uniqueness in how we serve our clients. Those are copyright. Those are your unique assets that you should take, very seriously to protect that. So terms and condition on your website is another way to protect those. Any clients that we work with, when we set up their legal foundation, we, again, based on their service, the nature, their vision, we professionally draft all of those documents to paste on their website, whether it's a privacy policy, whether it's disclaimers, whether it's terms and conditions. They can serve a lot of purposes to prevent any violation of the laws and regulations, but they can also serve you in protecting a lot of your copyright and IP assets as well. So if those things you haven't looked at in a long time, or you're not sure, please also take a note on that, and I would love to discuss those specifically with you. Recently, one of my new client come to us just because their client, not even a client, someone in California sue them because of their privacy policy is not up to date. As you know, these regulations change all the time, so it's important to have them reviewed regularly as well. And yeah, very, very important. All those five steps are, I call it like a core pillars for your legal foundation. However, whenever we help a business to set up or clean up their legal structure or foundation, we always work on and highly, highly recommend number 6, which is a simple compliance calendar. This is to make sure you're not only to set up correctly right now, but you're going to remain in a good standing in the future for long term. So whether it's you have a DBA or annual report with your state need to be filed and renewed annually, or specific notice, or any of the other regular review need to happen, we build out a customized, compliance calendar base for your business. And so these 6 pillars, if one of them are missing or even more, then we need to really dive in deeper to understand, what the situation is, because most of the time it indicates there's something that's missing or there's a significant risk exposure for your business. And we always recommend to set up this in advance before the problem arise, right? Because we want us to be there when you are setting up the foundation instead of coming in later on to try to fix whatever that mistakes will be, which we do that. We still do that all the time. However, it's just not a good place for business owners. And certainly I don't want that to happen for everyone here in the call. Five common gaps that we have seen in 2025 so far. From the business that we work with, we help hundreds of business so far, small to large, different sizes, different industries and vehicles. You know, these five common mistakes oftentimes come, to our attention. First is entity mismatch, right? And paperwork not maintained. We talk about you have an LLC, however, you don't have the supporting foundational document supporting that entity, right? You're operating as a partnership with your co-founder, however, your paperwork doesn't reflect that. Um, and even if you have a paperwork, is it being maintained correctly? Does everyone involved understand what it means and how it should look like? Um, the number two is missing and weak operating agreement or bylaw. Even if you have a document, is this something that you downloaded from a website and you don't know how what actually it says, right? Is it too weak? Is it not customized tailored to your own business? I have people coming to us because they set up the LLC, whatever legal structure through LegalZoom. And we have to spend we'll come in to review and redraft everything because they say, honestly, I just download it from the website. It's not even signed, right? Like I'm like, okay, then essentially you don't have this supporting document. And if something happened, you are personally liable for that, unfortunately. But there's always a way we can resolve that. We will strategize. But however, that's very common. And I like to just highlight it here. Contracts doesn't fit your business model. You're offering group coaching. You're having a one-on-one client agreement. It doesn't make sense, right? Every service, every model, it needs its own attention. It has its own structure. And from a legal and compliance and risk management perspective, you want that to reflect that. And then again, as I begin my presentation, when we draft a document, we reflect your value. If this is something that you believe as the core value of your business, of yourself, we like everything to say that, to show that, to let your client to reflect that. Um, so that's contract, and we can talk a lot more than externally, internal documentation, what it looks like. And then the number four, no documentation for contractors or vendors or even investors. You know, we as a small business, we oftentimes want to partner with other business, right? We're out there, we're speaking, we're the affiliate of other people, we're referral for other business. Sometimes we may need some help ourselves. What type of documentation that's in place to govern to support those relationship, right? Did you review those documents? How is it drafted? Does it aligned with what you believe? Um, if we ignore the step at the beginning, oftentimes later on, as the relationships start evolving, problems sometimes happen, and it's more costly to fix the risk or the problem at that time than having a proper documentation to properly guide those relationships at the outset. I see we help transactional work, a lot of it buyout, merger acquisitions, even outside investors. Those are more complex transactions, so we will recommend you to start talking to your attorney to just strategizing from very beginning, right? We don't want the investor already coming in. You wanted to paper or document whatever you already discussed or negotiate at the last minute. We will be able to guide you through the whole process. And then with that clarity and peace of mind, you oftentimes end up having a better and clearer and stronger transaction. So documentation is not only important during the normal operation of your business, but it's also important when you come to, you know, hiring somebody, you're trying to expand or even bringing someone from outside. Those times are especially critical too, to make sure you have the right documentation. Compliance, number five, compliance. A lot of states have for example, have a requirement of annual reports, right? Every year, no matter what type of business you're having, you're required to file with the state a certain type of annual report. And this type of filing, obviously, it's not our zone of genius. We tend to, ignore that. This is not something fun. However, if we can build that filing, the renewal, the policy that need to happen into a easily user-friendly calendar for compliance purpose, then it's much more easier to manage down the road. So if you don't have a compliance calendar like that, I will highly, highly recommend that, and we'll more than happy to discuss your situation or even, help you one-on-one on that one as well. So I want to just quickly touch base on, how we typically work with clients. We have one signature offer, and this is all we do. We don't do anything else because this is what I've been doing and what I love to do, and I think my impact lines, right? It's called Faithful Legal Foundational package. So we always sit down with a long, focused legal strategy session to start, because this is when I can understand the business owner, the startup founder, what they're thinking, how they're envisioning their business, and where their value and their faith is, because that's the foundation, very foundation of everything you do. And it's so important to have that understand and clarify. So in that session, we will, on a one-on-one base, map out your business model. We will have a pretty good understanding and assessment of your risk exposure. And from that starting point, we'll be able to start setting up your legal entity, finalize or, enhance your foundation, whether it is to align your operational foundational agreement, such as operating agreement and so forth, or other legal documents, right? We also tailor any of the contracts or documentations to your service and your value. And most importantly, every engagement we have, we always provide the post-engagement support. Um, you know, Recently I was telling Olivia I had a few of just really powerful webinars such as this one. I extend that support to 90 days. So 3 months after we work together, any legal questions, I'm still at your corner offering the support that you need and you deserve. So that being said, uh, I wanted to invite you to a special opportunity. It's called Faith and Clarity Call. It's completely no string attached. Everything what we outline, but it's really just a fast way. And I was, opening up a few more spots on my calendar. Just wanted to extend that invitation and opportunity for this group so that we can discuss your individual situation, right? It's a free legal chat directly with me. I wanted to drill down and understand and obviously know you more personally, how you set up your business, what do you value, what do you think there might be, something that we could possibly support. And if everything set up correctly, this is like a little audit to give you that confidence and peace of mind. And I will be able to tell you that as well on this call. And I know I want to be mindful of our time. And also, if you have any question, please drop in the chat. Thank you, Samantha, for dropping that in the chat. That's the link to schedule this call directly with my calendar. And I want to just tell you a snapshot of a local owner here, a small business. She's a therapy, she's starting something to do wellness coaching business, right? She's very experienced helping clients for a long time already. However, she has been DIY her own contracts, right? Like she told me, um, literally she's copy paste something, from another practice, which exactly doing the same thing as hers. I'm like, please stop. Copy paste something from another business is infringement by itself, right? It's a risk that you don't want to make yourself available to. So don't copy paste anything. Don't DIY ChatGPT anything. I use ChatGPT as well, and I cannot tell you how many mistakes ChatGPT has, indicate or spread it out that I was like, no, that's not correct. So the algorithm of the current AI industry is that they are generating content to please you. That's the ultimate algorithm. Whatever you wanted to say, they will figure out a way to gather the sources and to formalize a language and submit that to you. It's not legal, right? A lot of times it's not legal, and a lot of because I don't want any of my clients to have any risk of infringement. And then secondly, whatever it says may not be even protecting you. So she's doing that. She also have unclear ownership. She doesn't know what it says in her operating agreement. She missed filings, just a lot of stress and stuff, and actually impacting her business. Right now, after we working together, her coaching business and her therapy business both have a clean entity structure, right? We customize, tailor the contract for her based on her service and individual clients that she's serving, because coaching clients is different from the therapy clients. Those are governed by totally different laws and regulations as well, right? And we also have a simple compliance plan to help her to continue to support both of her business going forward. And she was telling me because of this foundation, she's actually having that peace of mind and confidence, and she actually raised her price for the same service that she's been always offering to her clients, because she know that everything business legal side of things is supporting her growth and the scaling of her business. So yeah, just really wanted to, also bring a small case come to this webinar. And obviously, we are so fortunate to work with so many wonderful business owners, such like yourself. And if there's anything we can support, I would love to chat with you. And if you have any questions right now, I'm happy to answer that as well. So I think that concludes my official presentation. And oh, thank you so much. Oh, of course. Okay, thank you, Halsey. I appreciate your kind words. And yes, there's a QR code here on the screen. The universe put me here for all of us. I love it. I think so too. I think so too. And this is my passion. This is what I think is, and then how I'm passionate about how I can be of service to others, and give me so much joy to see the business that we helped over the years to be so successful, to thrive, and just yourself, the individual, which is the core most important part of your business, have that peace of mind and confidence. And that's something so important to me and to us. So thank you so much for the kind word. And again, Olivia, appreciate the opportunity. This is such a blast. And I cannot wait to hear some of the other wonderful speakers' presentation as well.
Thank you so much, Diane. I was scribbling so many notes while you were talking. And folks know, if you've been in my other presentations before we part ways, I need to know, so you can come off mute, you can put it in the chat, but what is your number one takeaway from all the wisdom Diane shared with us today? Like, what is the top thing that is like lodged in your brain that you are walking out of this with? For me, it was that my legal stuff is not set it and forget it. Like, I think there were a number of things that when I was setting up my business, I was like, oh, I did that, and I did that, and I
Hmm.
did that. And listening to him like, oh, but my business is turning 4, and maybe I haven't looked at those things in a couple of years. So that
Yeah.
compliance calendar
Exactly, because
a must.
our business also evolving too,
Yes.
right? Like everything else we're doing is evolving, is continue to evolve and change and update. And we want our system to continue to support that accordingly too. So it's important to have that, you know, regularly review, update it, or just at least someone to look at if everything's set up correctly. And that's great. At least you know that too. So I want that to happen for sure.
Yes. And a few from the chat. Bridget, this is why I laugh. Her takeaway is, I am not Elle Woods and probably need legal help.
Oh.
If we didn't pass the bar, we should hire someone who did.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here. And again, always available for free consultation. We wanted to build a relationship before anything else. So, and this legal faith and clarity call essentially it's like a mini audit for your business. And I think it's just so critical to have that. Normally we would charge, but for this webinar the participants of this webinar, we'd love to, just have the opportunity for you guys to discuss your situations for sure.
That's awesome. And Megan says creating a compliance calendar. Great
Mm,
takeaway. This would save me so much time looking up information. Leah says, realize one business is solid, but our partner business in Georgia, not so much, right?
mm,
Different
yeah,
states, different businesses, they all need this attentive care.
yeah. And I hope, after this, I wanted to at least make sure like legal stuff shouldn't be scary, right? And because it's supposed to be here to support us, to support our business, it should be easy, it should be straightforward, it should give you that peace of mind. So that's why Grace May, I've seen so many legal services that's being provided in a way that I don't necessarily like as a business owner myself, right? Whether it's hourly rate or retainer or it takes forever to them to call back to you. So those are the things we just don't tolerate here. And I wanted to completely serve in a way that's nothing, hopefully disrupt in the industry a little bit to see that this is how we can serve legal services to you. So thank you for mentioning that to have the reflection. Business with a partner is extremely tricky, but with the right strategy at the front, right? And to making sure everybody is guided and on the same page, then it could be a beautiful adventure together. So I would love that. I'm happy to talk with you, with your business partner, if that's something, that he or she might be interested as well.
Wow, thank you so much. I feel like legal stuff has always been the thing that I would push away, or it's scary. It's something I have no knowledge in. And so it would be the thing that I would maybe DIY, especially as like a new
Mhm.
business person. It's like we're all maybe starting out with nothing. So we DIY it until we realize that we should not keep doing that. And it's just so great to have this space and container to talk about this because it really softened the edges for me. It really made me like tap back in mentally and be like, wow, I want to actually review some of these things that I set up when I started my business. I would like to actually fine tooth comb some of it and understand more. So to
Wonderful.
have this
Yeah, that's
conversation,
what we are here for, to educate, to give you the options, to explain what those are, and then, you can make the informed decision from there. So,
awesome. Thank you so much. That was incredibly well done.
oh,
Just
thank you
last thing I'll say before we part ways for today. I'm here in the DC area, the land of lawyers. Like if you they're everywhere. And I've lived here for more than 10 years. I have never met anyone doing the kind of law that Diane is doing, and certainly not doing it with the heart and the integrity and the alignment that she is bringing to this, which is, I know, such a beautiful fit for all of you that I know on this call, and hopefully those of you listening to the recording. So I was thrilled when we met last year, and when I learned more about her business and her approach, I was like, this is the woman to support all the people in this sphere. So just thank you again for taking the time and talking with all of us and being so generous. And I know you are going to be getting some calendar invites from folks.
Oh, love it, love it. Well, thank you again for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you all.
All right. Thank you. And I will see folks. Hopefully we pick back up on Wednesday. We've got a great lineup. Full roster is on thisissacrednature.com/summit. And Diane and I are both here for you if you need anything. All right. Have a great
Absolutely.
one.
Have a great day. Take
Bye.
care.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.